Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with
The boss, Michael Anthony Fitness.
Yeah, I'm working for the damn man today. Working for the damn man today. And you can see, look, this is something you don't usually see on my jobs. Look, I'm soaking wet with sweat. It's hot in here. Boss, where's the AC? Where's the AC, boss? It's too hot.
In your cup. You got something metal in that thing.
That's a blender.
So we're here with my cousin, who's a Redskin fan.
That's right.
Yeah, don't hold it against him. He's still good. He's still good people.
Proud of it.
But and he'll be at our tailgate.
That's right.
Along with our buddy Rashid.
Yeah, Rashid will be there, and we're gonna have a good time.
And our buddy Mark might be there too.
Mark who?
The one from Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
The one from Puerto Rico.
What about the other brand? Spanish thing.
Oh, he might come. Oh,
I haven't talked to him about it. But anyway,
He might come if he's off work.
you know, it's funny because I get so many people that talk about me being obsessed with Dak Prescott. And I don't want to say I'm obsessed, but I try to get the information out there correctly. That's what if I'm obsessed about anything. Let me ask you a question. Does this cover overhang at all, or is it flush? Because if it overhangs, then we got to move the panel over just a little bit, boss, because it's tight against the sidewall. So what we may have to do, we may have to put another block on here because I can see, yeah, because we need about an inch. Sorry, I'm talking to the boss here about what we need to do a little, may need to make a little change to see. We get to line up those screws, you need about a half an inch, but we're probably okay if we just go ahead and loosen those up and slide it over, boss. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to make a mistake because I'm trying not to get fired because, you know, I got a wife and kids to feed.
For the man.
Working for the man. But as I talk about my quarterback, Dak Prescott, you know, there's so many people out there that want to condemn me for liking our quarterback and defending him. And the reason I do that is because you hear so much ridiculous statements out there about my quarterback, Dak Prescott. And I'm trying to at least set the record straight, as well as not electrocute myself as well. Hold on for a second. There's some big wires here. Picking up a panel in the garage. Look at that. Mr. Electricity is going to be going right through there. Okay, so I go through and I try and at least set the record straight because you hear so much crap that's talked about out there. But I'm going to ask a hypothetical question. Now, Dak Prescott, because a lot of people are saying, you know, no matter what good category you hear about Dak Prescott, somebody's always got reason why he sucks because of that stat. So what they said is Dak Prescott is number one in tight window passes. And somebody commented and said, well, that's only because he only throws the ball 2 yards downfield. But here's the thing. I'm going to ask a stupid question, and maybe you guys can help me answer this one. If you have receivers that can't get separation, isn't it harder to complete the pass?
Where's your what ball?
Well, no, I'm just saying. But no, I'm thinking of like Hopkins, wide receiver for the Texans. If he's getting separation, okay, if he is actually blowing past somebody and he's here, isn't that a little easier to complete the ball?
Oh yeah.
Because you don't have to be exact. I mean, as long as you're getting it in his hand. But tight window passes means the defender is within a yard, right? So that means you only have so much space. And the next thing I'm going to ask is, if you are having to make completions in a tight window, that means the defender is right there. What are the chances of you getting a lot more yards after catch?
Next to zero.
Because he can kind of trip you or fall on you and tackle you, right?
Yeah.
So would you think if I have to complete my passes because my guys aren't getting separation, okay, would that change the amount of yardage per completion?
Yeah.
Because I think about this. Because see, Dak ended up with I think 7.2 or 7.4 yards per completion, right? Throwing to, with the exception, we'll take Amari out because he was only half the season, but throwing to Allen Hurns, Michael Gallup, Cole Beasley, and Terrence Williams, right? Would that be the same as throwing to, say, Antonio Brown and Juju Schuster?
What kind of question was that?
No, I'm asking you because here's the thing. Here's what's funny is Big Ben only averaged, I think, 7.6 yards per completion with those receivers, right? You got two, both of those guys. Okay, but wait. Both of those guys would be number ones on the Cowboys.
That's not even a fair comparison.
But that's the comparison because they'll say that he's not Big Ben. If you took, okay, all right, so hypothetically, take Cole.
Hell, Big Ben wouldn't be Big Ben without, what you say,
Schuster and
the
AB?
three boys from
and
Dallas.
Le'Veon Bell.
No. You get in the three from the Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying. Would Big
He'd
Ben
be dead Ben.
Okay, if he had to throw to Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams, Allen Hurns, and Michael Gallup, if you transported those, would he still be averaging 7.6 yards per completion?
No.
And that's the kind of thing that you got to look at and say, okay, because the way they talk about my quarterback, Dak, is, well, he's got to have people around him. Okay, well, let's see what these other guys do if they don't have somebody that's decent around.
All of the
Because
quarterbacks.
understand. Here's the difference too. When we talk about, because people, when you compare him to another quarterback, they will say, "How dare you?" But hold on, look at this.
He got me on here defending goddamn Dak Prescott again.
Big Ben. Okay.
I'm a Redskins fan.
Big Ben had over 5,000 yards last year, right?
Yeah.
But do you know that he threw the ball 190 times more than Dak did? Again, he only averaged, I think, 0.2 of a yard more per completion than Dak did.
With those receivers.
Okay? And listen, I'm not trying. Don't say that you're just trashing our receivers. I'm not trashing just the receivers because Dak's got to be better too.
I mean, well, your receivers are trash compared to them two. I mean, apples is apples and oranges is orange.
And think about and of course they will. But here's the other part of the equation too, is they'll say that, well, the Dallas Cowboys, it's only because of Zeke. That's why the Cowboys do. But hold on, it's like.
Okay, well,
didn't Pittsburgh,
the last game,
didn't Pittsburgh have Le'Veon Bell?
Oh, he was a beast.
But did you ever hear anybody say, well, Big Ben's successful because he's got it? And the Steelers, let's face it, they've always had a great running back. It's been their identity.
Yeah.
And they've always had some great, Hines Ward. They've always had great wide receivers, but we don't ever hear that, Big Ben is only great because he's got a supporting cast. And I keep trying to say, listen, all these guys need a supporting cast. There's nobody out there throwing to me and winning Super Bowls.
Nope.
But you would think the way some of these dudes talk, that is the case for the Dallas Cowboys and why Dak is not a good quarterback. And I'm just kind of like, wait a minute. Are you serious with this shit? So, and again, if I'm crazy, tell me that I'm crazy. But if you took, I'm just saying, if you gave me, because we see what Amari Cooper did, and if you go through and look at the receivers and yardage after catch, Schuster was getting like 6.5, and I think Antonio Brown was getting like 6.1 yards after catch. And you look at Hopkins, he's getting 7 yards after catch. But you see him wide the hell open. If your guys aren't getting separation, then somebody is right there. If you're having to throw in traffic, you're not getting away from people. And that's one of those things that you never actually hear anybody saying, well, here's one of the reasons. Now, they'll go through and they'll say, well, Dak was 22nd, rated as far as passing or, in this category or that category. But they won't look at it and say, what's the trend? Because clearly there's a difference of having some talent with Amari Cooper versus not having it. Because if you took, like I said, you take these guys and give them nobody to receive. You go through the top wide receivers in the NFL, from what we started out with last year, we had nobody there to catch the football. So that's just my point, and that's why I talk about my quarterback. So if we were a pass-first team that passed the ball 190 times more, at Dak's completion percentage, hell, he'd have 5,000 yards too. But people don't seem to understand that. And here's another funny one.
They do.
Well, no. Here's
They
another
just
one of
don't give him credit
those
for it.
funny statistics that people don't talk about, because people will say, "Well, Dak only threw for 3,800 yards last year." What's interesting is Tony Romo in 2014, the team that everybody said that should have been in the Super Bowl, and I agree 100%. He only threw for 3,700 yards. Because that was the winning formula. You had DeMarco Murray run for 1,800 yards, right? Did nobody say that, well, Tony Romo couldn't win because he didn't have DeMarco Murray?
And he had a receiver.
And he had Dez Bryant, who had a career year.
And he had a tight end.
And had a Hall of Fame tight end. And I know Michael, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. My boss is going to get in here and he's going to fire me in a second. I'm just trying to say, at least let's be fair with our comparisons and stuff. So when you hear these things out there, let's look at the whole picture and not just part of the picture. You know what I'm saying? But what do I know?
Haters will hate.
I got a day job working for the man. At least I did when I started. I might be fired before the end of the day.
Oh.
All right. I'll see you guys a little later.